Hi friends, welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. I'm Austin, and today's video is a family home. Like many of my other family home builds, this is a 2-bedroom, 3-bathroom home. It's 2 stories. It's not a large home. It is, kind of the way I styled it is I wanted to have it be sort of an old-fashioned home. That's why I think the name of this build will probably be like grandparents' home or something. It's not based off my grandparents or any of my grandparents' houses, but it just feels like an older style home with a lot of warm tones and very aged looking wallpapers and furniture and stuff. And I did that on purpose. I really like that look. I know it's not super popular, at least in my build, so I always like to step out of my comfort zone a little and do builds like this to, I don't know, make things interesting. It is kind of funny because I haven't really made a series of it, but I've been slowly but surely kind of building up Newcrest, and a lot of the houses I've built do have a similar style, but the 2 houses that are right next to each other here are like completely different styles. The house next to it is a build I did a few weeks back. There's a very modern home, and this one is the complete opposite. So that was kind of a funny thing I noticed, and something that I wasn't necessarily planning on doing, but it is nice to have that sort of juxtaposition. And both builds were a lot of fun. I definitely recommend you check out that build. It was more of a little fun kind of test of like terrain manipulation and stuff, but with this build was just kind of a fun build I thought up of on Tuesday, and then finished it by the end of Tuesday, and then I just had to wait to do a voiceover for it. But I'm really happy with how this build turned out. This video will probably be going up next week, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on in the world right now, but hopefully everything is still improving, or will start improving in some places. And yeah, I just I don't want to talk too much about what's going on outside of The Sims because it is a little bit depressing to talk about, so I'm going to kind of try to avoid that topic. But anyways, with this build, I really wanted to make a, kind of a warm and welcoming home. The backyard is something I've never really done before. It's not super, intricate or anything. It's a very simple backyard with like a gazebo or, an uncovered gazebo, which at that point is just probably a deck. But either way, it's, got a lot of, activities there, but there's not much else in the backyard. And that was something I wasn't planning on doing, but as I started working on the backyard, it was something I was really happy with, so I didn't really touch too much of it afterwards. And yeah, I really like how the backyard looks, and like I said, I kind of imagine this as a grandparent's home. So with the 2nd bedroom, it is has 2 twin beds that could be theoretically for the grandkids when they stay over. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun, to be had in this house. There's a lot of activities. There's a computer, there's a TV, there is a bookshelf and other stuff that I can't think of at the moment. But either way, yeah, there's a lot of activities for your Sims to enjoy here. And yeah, I'm just really happy with how this build turned out. There were some stuff I wanted to, or some things I wanted to talk about during this build, but as I started recording, I completely forgot what they were, so I apologize for that. Hopefully they'll come back to me relatively soon. I've been thinking about a lot of different builds I can do, or builds I want to do, and there's a couple builds I want to go and from like older series that I may want to revisit. I've even thought about doing I've even kind of thought about going back to my 50 States build series, even though I know last week I mentioned that I wasn't planning on doing it. But, who knows? I'm not going to write that off completely. Maybe in the future I will. But for now, it's, still on hiatus, or almost, assuredly canceled at this point. But, I really like... this build kind of reminded me, I think, of that series, especially one of the builds I did in that series. I can't remember what state it was. It might have been Washington, or I think it was maybe a Pacific Northwest state, but that house was called Grandmother's House, and that was actually based. It was a kind of a weird build because it was like partially in one build series I was doing, and it was also part of a Let's Play series I was doing at that time. And the weird thing about that build is, for some reason out of nowhere it started getting a ton of views. I guess because the video title or something was people were looking up because it was related to something else. And it was a very good build, I thought. A build I was proud of. So it's always nice to see people complimenting your builds, especially when they were builds that didn't maybe get enough attention or not enough attention, but any attention really when they came out. And it's always weird seeing videos kind of older videos gain views and stuff, because it's like I'm not doing anything to these videos and YouTube keeps pushing them out, but then they don't push out my normal videos, so who knows. I really like how this build turned out. I wasn't anticipating using so much dark furniture in the space, but thankfully the first floor is really open, or not open, large. The first level is kind of more closed off than my traditional build, but despite that, it has a lot of still open space, so I don't think the dark furniture is as noticeable as it would be if the build was a little more cramped. And this actually was my attempt at making a more closed off space. I know last week in a build I talked about how almost all my builds tend to have these wide open spaces, and they're very open concept, and I felt like with this house, since it was in my head an older style home or an older home, I thought it would make sense to have less open space. So that's why I went for more closed off rooms, and the second floor is also very closed off, which you will see shortly, though I did already do the layout. And the kitchen is an alley style, or not really, because I think for an alley style kitchen, for it to be called that, I think both sides have to have there has to be a pass through, but it is a very cramped kitchen. I think it's 3 squares wide, and then there is a bathroom right off the front door. That was kind of a weird thing to do, and it's just kind of a washroom area. But then the 2 bathrooms on the second floor are full bathrooms, and this build came together relatively quickly, which is always nice. I have, like I mentioned earlier, and I kind of got off on a tangent, I have been planning other builds. The exciting part about planning a build is there's so much potential, and then for me, I tend to forget to write down what I'm thinking in the moment. And so then when it comes time to build the house, I completely forget what I was doing. And so I've been trying to change that and trying to write down my build ideas more often, but it's going to take some time to remember to do that, and hopefully in the future I can. And because I don't know, I always think of some interesting builds, and then I sit down to play the game, and then my idea is completely gone, just completely vanished, and I'm left sad because sometimes it can be hard to think of videos. And so when ideas come, I try to at least work with them, because nothing's worse than sitting down to play or do a build and not having anything to do, because you've built the same 3 houses every week. Though that's the one thing I will mention, since coming back, I really don't feel like my houses look the same. I've been trying different things, I've been kind of stepping out of my comfort zone, and I've been really enjoying that. I think one of the reasons why I took such a long break the last time was because it got to a point where I felt like my builds weren't improving in quality, and I didn't see myself improving at all, so I decided that it would probably be best to step away. I wasn't sure at the time if it was going to be permanent or temporary. It was sort of in the middle. I was gone for several months, but it was nice to take a step back, because even though I realized that a long time ago I really like doing these videos, I really like making content on YouTube, and being gone from it for so long really did make me miss it, and I'm very happy to be back doing these sort of videos. And I do want to step out and do other kinds of videos, maybe other video games. There are a couple ideas I have of other video games. maybe I would start doing them here, or maybe I'd move them to a different channel just so these videos would stay, Sims related, and all the people that are subscribed wouldn't be confused and want to leave. But yeah, so who knows what's going to happen. I am thinking of the future. I'm also thinking of streaming. I was actually planning on doing that last week or 2 weeks ago at this point, but with everything that's gone on with, what's going on in the world, it didn't seem right to me to start because, I personally, was dealing with a lot of things, and I'm still dealing with some things, related to everything that's going on. I'm not, necessarily in the best mindset. I have been trying to step away from either playing the game or making videos or posting content when I feel pressured or any kind of feelings about that, and that has been nice. I think it has kind of helped me not go crazy, I think, and so yeah, I just don't want to do a Twitch stream and potentially screw that up. So yeah, this is actually the tail end of the build. The last couple of rooms come together pretty quickly. I also cut out the bathrooms because style-wise they're the same as the first floor bathroom. I try to keep my bathrooms the same style throughout the build because I feel a lot of times when homes are built, the bathrooms tend to have the same style, probably because it's cheaper to have all the same tiles and wallpapers and stuff like that. So that's the reason why I had no issue getting rid of the 2 bathrooms on the second level. Just imagine the first bathroom but with a bathtub, and then the other bathroom is basically the first bathroom with a shower. So yeah, I didn't feel too bad getting rid of those, and they were pretty quick to put together. And then here I'm just kind of adding some finishing touches. I didn't go overboard with the red shelf this build. Both bedrooms I didn't go too crazy with the red shelf, and then with the bathrooms I didn't go crazy either, just because the bathrooms in this room or in this build were rather small, and I didn't want to make them feel cramped by adding in unnecessary clutter items, just because it can look a little overloading with having a lot of clutter items in the bathroom, especially of that size. And also I would not want to make portions of the bathroom inaccessible for your Sims in case they need to get to the toilet or wash their hands. So yeah, that's why I did that. But overall, I'm really happy with how this build turned out. It was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble. But anyways, if you did enjoy this video, then please be sure to hit the like button, and if you are new to the channel and you want to see more videos like this, then please consider subscribing and clicking the bell. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.